Hi, Josh Barker with Josh Barker Real Estate, and thank you for checking out our market update for the month of December 2024. Like we like to do each month, let's go ahead and kick off the sales report by starting by looking at the number of homes sold here in Shasta County through the multiple listing service last month in the month of November. So it finished at 157 properties closed. Now that's down roughly 15% compared to last year when there was 186 properties that had closed escrow. But if you zoom out a little bit and you look at year to date through November, we finished at 2,128. And that's only down 2% compared to last year when we were year to date through November, 2,178. So when you're thinking about it, if you're asking, hey, are the sales slowing down on the market? Year over year, down by 2%, not too much. Next thing to look at is just the active listings for sale. This is noticeable. Right now we finished at 801 properties that are active for sale as of the end of November. If you go back a year ago, it was also a 15% increase year over year because last year we finished at roughly 704 properties that were on the market. Buyers that are in the market right now are actually noticing this because you're seeing more and more inventory and price ranges that you hadn't really seen in months past. So this is a good sign for what buyers might be able to choose from going into 2025. Next thing to look at is just the average price in the market right now. So the average price currently is $400,000 year to date. If you go back a year ago, it was just around $400,000 also. So prices for the most part year over year for the average sales price have leveled off. If you look at the actual absorption rate right now, this is how many months supply of homes we have for sale. Right now, we're averaging just over a 4-month supply. Previously last year, we were in the high threes. So right now we've formally transitioned away from a seller's market and we're now technically a neutral market. Now keep in mind, by price range, this could vary. So in the upper end market, the absorption rate is much higher, and the lower price points, the absorption rate is much lower. The next thing we look at is just new construction. Folks have been asking about this a lot. The good news is new construction is up, technically by just over 30% year over year. If you look at the city of Reading, their reporting only came up through September. There was a total of 89 permits pulled. If you go back a year ago, it actually finished at 59 permits pulled. So this is a good trend that we want to see continue going into next year. Now, builders obviously have some headwinds. Interest rates haven't dropped very much yet. And we still have a stubborn labor market in terms of what it's costing to build and the supply market. So it's going to take some time, but we do expect that we're going to see more and more new construction this next year. Next thing to look at is just the foreclosure market itself. So folks have been asking, hey, is the foreclosure market growing? I've actually had consumers saying, hey, we think the market might change. Well, here's the reality of it. A year ago, if I were to give you this report, there was about 189 properties that were in some stage of foreclosure. Roughly only 1/3 of those ever even hit the market over the following year. This year, when I looked at the report as of yesterday, there was 115 properties in some stage of foreclosure in the Shasta County market. And that's not a big number because only about 1/3 of those, again, might even hit the market as foreclosures at the end because many of them are going to have options. They're going to either refinance, they're going to get a modification to an existing loan, or they might decide to sell the property while they actually have the equity. So we're not expecting to see any major changes in the foreclosure market. The last thing to look at is just the rental market. This was a pretty eye catcher for me. Right now, recently, it's reported that in the city of Reading, the vacancy rate has now dropped below 3%. Now, this is seasonal too. I mean, obviously in the winter months, when you get around the holidays, people don't want to move as much, and so there's not as much vacancy. But that's a low number considering over this last year, it has averaged below 7%. Now, if you zoom out to the county, it's averaging around 4% for the vacancy rate. So right now, the rental market is extremely tight. And actually, that relates to the point I made earlier about the foreclosure market. When folks are sitting in these homes, if they walk away from them, they still have to pay for housing at some point. And so we just don't see that being a huge issue going forward. So in any case, I hope this was helpful information for you today. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. We're always here to help. Thank you again for taking your time with us today. Have a great day.